All right, hello everybody. My name is Mr. Ramsey, and I will be introducing the unit to you and walking you through your work for today. So this reading unit that we'll do for the next 6 weeks focuses on one big essential question, and that's how do we find big ideas in a book? The specific skills that we'll practice during the unit: to be able to quote accurately from a story when explaining what the text says explicitly, like exactly what's happening, and also inferences. We'll talk about that in a moment. Figuring out what the theme is. Really, we read fiction, we read novels because they can help us to reflect on some of the big questions in life, what it means to be a good person, to live a good life, and we watch characters struggle with these things, and hopefully it teaches us something. We want you to be able to understand how a book is put together and how the scenes and the chapters fit together and play a part in building the whole novel. And we want you to have great discussions, to be able to speak proficiently about a novel, to know what to say beyond it was good or something like that. Some vocab that's important going forward: analysis. This is understanding something by looking at its parts. You would not claim to be a good mechanic unless you could explain how the parts of an engine work together. Inference is a guess or an idea based on evidence. If my piece of cake is missing and I see this kid, I can't prove that he stole my dessert, but boy, I've got some pretty strong evidence to make that inference. Likewise, we look at things characters say and do, and we make inferences about why they're doing that. And of course, theme, the important idea or message in a book: teamwork, perseverance, facing your fears, all these things that help us reflect on what makes a good life. We're going to use something called notice and note. And the question here is, when do you stop and read more carefully than you typically do? Signposts in the real world tell us important information about what's coming up, and they tell us to slow down and read carefully. And in a book, we've also got signposts. There are scenes. There are things that are going to happen. We go, oh, I better read this really carefully. We are going to notice when characters act differently than they typically do. We're going to slow down and notice when they have realizations, they have epiphanies. When they ask themselves tough questions and they wrestle with those tough questions. When they get advice from older, wiser characters. When we see something or hear something again and again over the course of the book, we're really going to pay attention to it. And also important flashbacks, when characters remember something important that happened before. These are all times that you really want to slow down and read carefully. And if you do that, chances are good you're going to be able to pull out some of the big ideas in the story.